What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. I have a killer video for you guys. I actually made over $400 in a day just by hair. I was at like 405, but pretty killer day. I wanted to share it with you guys as well as all my stats, and just so you guys could see, like, the days like this are possible if you put in the time. And I was just ecstatic, you know. Basically what happened was I had about 3 days off from my normal work in a row, and so I enjoyed the 2 days off, but I was feeling unproductive. So in between there, I took that Saturday and I put in almost a 13-hour day. So super long hours, but again, I'd been cooped up just inside playing video games for 2 days. I was feeling lazy. I was like, okay, I gotta go work or I'm not gonna feel good about myself. So I put in a super long day and I was super glad I did. I'm only gonna show you guys my Uber stats because I made about $430 plus, I think 435 just on Uber, and I made like 70 on Lyft. So if I showed you guys the Lyft screenshots, it would be like one ride every 3 or 4 hours or something along those lines. It's just not worth it. You're not going to see anything there. So what's crazy about this is I made 330 of this on just Uber alone. And you guys will see that a lot of these stretches of hours, I had a terrible hourly rate. But what's amazing, and this is one of the bigger things I want to point out about this video, is that because I stuck with it and I kept working, other hours made up for the bad ones. A lot of times what I used to do is I would go out weekend, weekday, didn't matter, and I'd work 3 hours, and then it would start it felt slow, and I would get discouraged, and so I'd go home because I'd be like, hey, I work full-time already. I'm not going to go out here and be out here if I'm not going to make good money. You know, it would feel pointless to me. So one big reason I want to share this video is I want to show you guys why you shouldn't do that. Because more often than not, if you hang out a little bit longer, other hours are going to make up for those bad hours. So maybe you only make $12 an hour for the first 3 hours, but if you make 35 to 40 for the next 10 or the next 6 or whatever it is, it's gonna be worth it. And I mean, at the end of the day, are you really going to decline those $36 of the 300 you made? Probably not. Who cares, you know? So if you've got the time to put in a full crazy day, just keep that in mind that some of those hours are going to be slow. And I'm going to show you guys that right here. So I woke up at like 9 a.m. that day, had a good breakfast, got my meditation on. I was like, you know what, 10:30 a.m., I'm doing it. I'm getting out there. So here's the first screenshot. From 10:30 to 2, I made $34 in 3.5 hours. Now, I'm more than willing to bet there's probably like 2 Lyft rides in there, maybe more. But normally, like a 3.5 hour chunk like that, $70, you know, that's what you're going to want there. That's 20 an hour. And, you know, that's what you're going to want. I would say 55 to 60 wouldn't be bad either because of how early in the day it was. You can't, you know, you're not going to be expecting surges or bonuses or, you know, really just too many rides in general that early on a Saturday. So 2 to 5:30, $36. Again, like a really bad number for 3.5 hours. Like I was saying before, you know, you're going to want to be 55 to 70 for that. You know, again, I would say there's probably Lyft rides in there. But again, even if you were doing just Uber, you wouldn't have wanted to have worried about either of those first 7 hours. I mean, is that what it is? Yeah, if it was for 7 hours, you wouldn't even want to worry about those numbers. Because here's where it starts really kicking in. And now you're going to see some of these hours where I started crushing it and it's just making up for everything. 5:30 to 7:50, $61. That's a great number. So really, like, what's the hours like there? Hour and a half, about 2.5 hours, a little bit less than 2.5 hours. And so for 2.5 hours, I would want to be at $50, because that would be 20 an hour. So to be at 61, I was already above pace. Now there's some surging and some stuff in there, obviously, so that helps. But still, you know, just for that little chunk, a great number to be at. So then from 8:10 to 10:25, only about $40. So that's not the end of the world. 2.5 hours, just under 20 an hour. That's not like disastrous. But for that late in the day, usually by 8 p.m., I'm consistently doing 20 an hour. So again, I would hypothesize there's a Lyft ride in there, but even if there's not, it's not a big deal because watch, 10:30 to 12:12. So not even a full 2 hours, $52. Now, as you guys can see, there's some bonuses in there. So that was a killer stretch of time because, I mean, that's like a tough number to figure out the hourly rate because it's such a random minute. But let's just say that it was hour and 40 minutes. So an hour would have been $20, 2 hour would have been $40, and I wasn't even at that, and I made 52. So I was probably at 27 or $28 an hour for that one. So, and then this is where stuff just starts really getting crazy. So 12:30 to 1:24, not even a full hour, $31. I mean, a great hour. As you guys can see, I'm hitting the 3 consecutive ride bonuses. Now, these are killer. What I will say about these, what I've noticed about these 3 consecutive ride bonuses is that a lot of times if you see them earlier in the day, around like noon to 3 p.m., this has happened to me almost every time it's earlier on in the day. I give the first 2 easily, like any normal ride. Less than 5-minute wait time for a ride, give it, bam, another one, give it. And this happened like 3 or 4 times to me in the last 2 weeks where they would have these 3 consecutive ride bonuses, but earlier in the day. That third ride would take me like an hour to get. Now, I'm like all into conspiracy theories, and I was like just totally pissed off every time it happened, and I was just 110% convinced Uber was doing something. Obviously, I don't know, but it really felt like it was. But it really could be as simple as that a lot of times when there's these big bonuses, big promotions, there's like a few hundred drivers in your city, I guarantee you, that only come out for New Year's, St. Patty's Day, Halloween, days they know they'll mop up. And I feel like a lot of times these bonuses bring out those drivers, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna go drive for 2 hours and make an extra, whatever the bonus is. I a lot of times get one for $13.50, like an extra $14 for 3 rides in a row. So a lot of times these guys will see it, they'll be like, okay, I'm gonna go work for 2 hours and make an extra $70 with the bonus. Because I've hit those bonuses like that. I've hit them 3 times in like 2 hours before. It's very doable to hit them multiple times and rack up a good amount of money. So a lot of drivers know that. So just be careful with those bonuses. What I have noticed is later in the night. So like if you have it on the weekend and it's closer to that bar rush, you're gonna hit it with these. So you guys are gonna see for the next hours, I was killing it. I think I hit it 3 or 4 times in this day. So now 1:38 to 2:51, barely over an hour, like an hour and 13 minutes, and I made $70. Super strong hour. So I mean, probably something like $65 an hour. As you guys can see, there was bonuses, there was surges. I mean, those hours, think about it this way, guys. Imagine if you had just worked from 10:30 to 3 a.m., we'll say. 10:30 to 3 a.m., that's 83 plus 70. Quick math, $153 in 3 hours. That's a killer hourly rate. So to total all of this up, it was 12 hours and 45 minutes that I worked just on the Uber app. It was closer to 13 and a half with Lyft as well. But again, for the sake of just Uber, like let's look at it as if it was just Uber. 12 hours and 45 minutes, $325, $27 in tips. That's not really that great. Obviously, you guys saw there was, a good amount of surge rides in there, a good amount of bonuses. But like what I'm going to say about that is that's what you're in for on the weekend. This is why, like, I tell people all the time, like, if you can work 1 day a week, just work 12 hours on Saturday. Imagine supplementing your income with an extra $300-400 a week from 1 day of work. Yeah, it's 12 hours. Yeah, that's long. But how much value is that going to add to your life? For me, a lot. Like, that helps me a lot. That's you know, just so many things. That's a car payment, utilities. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But yeah, so that's what I got for you guys. So that was my $400 day, but for the sake of the video, we're gonna say my 300 plus day, just on Uber alone. Numbers like this are very doable. Oh, just so you guys know, this averages out to $26 an hour. So it's not like I just worked long hours and made good money. That's a good hourly rate too. But yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We got a lot more content coming for you guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm gonna be busting this stuff out for you guys. I hope you guys are busting out some rides this week, making that tip money, making that good money, and I will talk to you guys soon.